Hello, welcome back to the Great Patriotic War. It's been a while since we played. I feel like I say this almost every bloody video now, but I get so few chances to play games lately. But it's been a while since I actually played the main campaign here. I've been playing kind of without filming it, the Operation Typhoon scenario, which is just a short 15 turn scenario that takes place essentially the time period we're getting into now in the main campaign, up until kind of the big Soviet counter thrust. It's been a lot of fun. Hard scenario to win as the Germans, I believe, because I've done pretty well as the Soviets. So I kind of want to try it again as the Germans, just to see how damn hard it is. It seems like it's one of these ones that is basically unwinnable for the Germans, unless you know what you're doing. But we are here on turn 15 ourselves, out of not 15 turns. And this is September 28th, 1941. And we're just going to crack straight into it. We've already done the air turn for turn 15, so this is just going to be, the ground portion. And we're just going to try to get through the whole thing, if we can. All right, so last turn, we did see a little bit of a push here and some attacks along whatever the hell river this is. Regardless, we got a river here, and we're trying to defend it. But we don't have a ton of strength here. We're putting up 36 on the defense, but they are putting up 14 on attack, apparently. So that's a little scary, and 87 on defense. So these are two pretty strong-ass infantry divisions. And it's across the river into a city hex. So there's no way we can counterattack. And overall, I'm pretty comfortable with where our guys stand right now, except this middle section here is pretty damn weak. So we've got essentially everything's being held by either single divisions or weak cavalry divisions. What I would like to happen at some point here is for the 32nd Army to get a little bit of reinforcing done. The 242nd Rifle Division got cycled out of the front to rebuild a little bit. They had been in quite a few 8 battles, so they were just tapped. They needed a few turns of rest, but I believe that they're kind of getting back to full strength now, or as full strength as we can allow them to get. So we might send them back to the front this turn. They're at full morale. Their combat value is 1.24. I mean, this is about as strong as they're going to get. They're missing a few elements, and they still have a little bit of damage, but overall they're pretty strong. So we might just have to go with it. They do have some fatigue still built up, so maybe we'll give them another few turns. They have 0 combat prep, so we'll give them a couple more turns to rest if we can. That's a big if. I'm just going to quickly click around and look for anything that's super duper weak. A lot of these divisions have been just kind of thrown up here, like this 111th Division. Does anyone have room for him? I guess the 32nd Army would have to be it. That would be pushing it for the front. Oh no, I guess it would be okay for the front. So give him the 32nd Army. This guy is under Luga group. I would like to stack him with other Luga armies. I'll switch him with the 287th Rifle Division. And that's in a kind of a safer place anyway. So we'll swap him around. So now this stack is all 32nd Army. 32nd Army is very well equipped in terms of artillery. But I'm imagining that some of these are getting a little worn down. Oh, that one's not too bad. A lot of these B4 howitzers, they're not super great on in regular combat, but I'll take them. They'll add a little bit. This thing's under strength right now, so I think I'll ship this back up to Stavka. Let it kind of refresh a little bit. They have quite a bit of AA. I mean, my previous plan with all my AA battalions was to try to keep them near the front so that these K3 guns and the KS-12s could really rip into the tanks. But now that that's been patched, I don't know if that's a good plan anymore. I might want to keep these further back, defending like supply areas. Because now this is still not bad. It's against armor, it's a 90. It's not terrible, but it was previously much better. This guy, I really want to stack that with something else. So I could put the NKVD division there, but they're going to the different army. I really want this guy to move up, but he's also very well fortified right now. I guess he's only at Fort 1. Pretty tempted to pop down a quick little fort right here. We're really not as fortified as we should be, all things considered. Yeah, we just have a very thin line here. I don't know if we could move something over from the left. Could, but they'd be giving up river line area. Don't really like the idea of that. I mean, this is still going to take a little bit of punch to knock back. So, what could do is evacuate this guy back up, because he's not adding any combat value right now. He actually goes to the Luga group, doesn't he? Maybe I'll just give him to like the coastal something. I don't know. I do think this guy needs to be reassigned to something else. How's the 8th Army look? They're fully stacked up, and the 27th Army is pretty much full. I guess I could trade a unit from the 32nd Army down to... really just want another infantry division up here. This guy's very weak. I could use something like the 55th Army. I don't know if this guy's any good, though. It's 6. I don't know if he's really worth using yet. I really need another front up here. Well, what I really need to do is to get the 28th Army into the reserve front, if that's possible. But I've got a lot of stuff under the reserve front right now that could probably get shifted around a bit. I already shifted the 34th Army, but the western front is now pretty much full after the reorg I did last turn. So... there's just not a lot of wiggle room in the fronts right now. And all of a sudden, these guys showed up here, huh? Pretty goddamn strong. Oh, they got max morale, too. That's not good. They're going to be very, very strong. I'm really hoping the 70th Rifle Division can hold against this. 15 to 12, that's like 1 to 1. I'm going to put some guys on reserve, I think. Because they should be able to enter those battles. And actually, if the 40th Army took them on, is this guy in range of 22nd? I think he is. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. He is in range. So let's reassign him to the 22nd Army. And that way they're at least under the same army. I'll have them in reserve for each other. Damn, this thing is still messed up, huh? He's got a weird TOE. So he's supposed to have T-34s. He ain't gonna get those because they're not available yet. He's got 25 BT-7s. Whoa, oh boy, and a BT-2. Jesus. BT-2 is a clowny tank. Considering it's 1941, the fact that we even still have BT-2s is pretty bad. I mean, BT-7 is just a weird tank as well to still be using. Only 25 of them is not going to get the job done. So I'm tempted to just send this guy back to the pool. He's really just not going to be all that useful. The only thing that's really good about him is he's got 6 wins. He's very close to being a guards division. So maybe he's worth keeping on the map just for that, but I won't disband him. I'll just send him back to... I guess I'll stick him on refit, but it's kind of pointless. This is on a train. We'll take this off. It was assigned to the 22nd Army. And this is really what we needed, something that has actual tanks. So it's got 29 T-34s and a much better supply of BT-7s and T-26s. So it's a lot more useful, and we can actually use this as a reserve. Now, it is pretty far from these, so I don't know how effective it would be. It would definitely accrue quite a bit of fatigue. And we'll stick this into reserve. How bad off are these guys? Pretty bad off, right? A lot of elements damaged. We'll just use these guys as kind of like a backstop here. And hope that the Germans can't break through. It's like theoretically, if this is the weakest one, so if they target this with their combined strength across the river, it's still not quite enough to break it, I don't think. And these guys should be strong enough to hold out as well. So like they're definitely going to hit us pretty hard, but we should survive. These guys are getting pretty tired, but they're going to have to keep fighting for a little while. That's just, them's the breaks when you're on the Northwestern Front, unfortunately. Got to hold. These guys are just so poorly prepared. All right, coming back to this problem here. What I think should happen is that the 26th Cavalry Division should stack with this, and we'll assign it to the 32nd Army. The downside of that is that it now means we have to take something out of the 32nd Army. We've got this under here that's stacked with it. So I'd like to give them to Luga. Okay, that kind of works. So 32nd Army is good now. The Luga group can lose these guys. These guys can go directly to the Leningrad front because they're going to get whacked anyways. Pretty much all got to die. So we'll send them right to the front. That's fine. I wish I could just bring them up here and stick them on that, but those are both perfect right now, so I don't really want to mess with it. These are using a lot of unit trucks. That's kind of unfortunate. All right, well, what I want them to do anyways, the Germans I mean, is for them to just keep kind of pushing north. So I'm just going to leave it as is. I think I'll leave the rest of this front pretty much unchanged because they've now reinforced here, so we can't do anything anymore, much as I would love to, but that's okay. Alrighty. So we already looked at these. Now we got to worry about this group coming up from Veliky Luki because they're kind of strong, and we are not that strong on some of these spots. Particularly like this tank division here is absolute dog. I don't know why I never built a depot here. I guess I just kind of assumed the 11th Army was good to go, and they're really not. They had a few weeks off, but they're really not that good to go. Especially this tank unit. They're still useless, huh? take up a little bit of buddy system here. And we'll march down the 233rd Rifle Division to hold this flank. 48th Army doesn't have everything fully deployed yet, so that should be like pretty workable. I do wish I had just a cavalry division here. You know, maybe I'll save that cavalry division from death on the Leningrad front and send them down there. I think that's what I'll do. March them here. We will move the 6th Army up to here and make this a temporary little depot. And we will disband this depot. And we'll disband this one as well. Ship them by train to do a little scouting. Because what I need to check is where exactly their divisions are in this area. Are they still in the woods, or have they advanced into like the swampy area near the river? And I don't have an easy way to check that right now. Because I also need to know if I need to bring this division forward or if I should leave it where it is. I kind of think I should leave it where it is. This isn't a good spot, but these guys are definitely going to get hit pretty hard. I'm worried about this 15 here, which is the 33rd Rifle Division. They're pretty weak. What does the 11th Army have for support? They got a good amount of artillery though. So they could probably bump that 15 up to like an 18, which then is just enough to survive. They could definitely get it to 1-to-1 odds, unless the Germans have some more divisions but they can only throw a maximum of 2 hexes at it. The hex that's most easily broken here is this one, but this now has a 52. So this should be fine, even if they can completely surround it on 3 sides. It's still going to be kind of hard for them to break it. So this is not a bad setup here. All right, we'll leave that as is. Now they were pushing down here, but again, we're not in terrible situations. Not by any stretch of the imagination here. Why is this guy not on Viet? Oh, because he's got this horrible deployment here. Where are the armies? These are in weird spots. Everything's just so spread out. So he could be all the way back here, right? Just check. Yeah, 54th Army should have been back there the whole time. 13th Army, he can be back here. So those didn't need to be that far forward. Now we got some really weird things going on here because of all the retreats. So they're stacked in the weird places. Gotta get the armies, the groups back together here. 13th Army. This will give him over to the 19th Army for now. Have to check the fronts at the end just to make sure I'm not totally screwing the fronts up. Oof, this is a 0. Let's get him off the line. Where's the 52nd Army? So that's the one that... Alright, this guy needs to be reassigned then. Give him to the 13th Army that we just opened up a spot in. And we'll march him back there and have him refit. And then we will march up these guys who are now pretty fresh. 2 units from the 24th Army. We'll go up into here. This is from the 19th Army. This is a 12. That's pretty weak, but this is only a 2. We could actually knock that back if we wanted to. we have a 9-2. Yeah, that was worth knocking back, I think. Just gets us an easy battle win for some of these unblooded divisions, and then 158th Rifle Division's been in quite a few battles already. That's kind of cool. I've suffered some damage, but not terrible. This is going to the 52nd Army. This 52nd Army is in the weirdest place. This really needs to get upgraded to a depot. Or I need to move him over here. I don't know which is a better idea. Well, the 10th Army can definitely go back to here. This hex here is a problem now. But we can give them to the 52nd Army and just make that a depot. Might as well just have 52nd Army take this whole line here. And we will make this a depot, which means we won't be able to create any assault fronts this turn. And I was really tempted to change one of these fronts to an assault front, but it's more important to get the short-term stuff done while we can. We'll pop down a depot there, because they need it just for, you know, the bonuses. These guys are pretty badly thinned out, but they don't seem to be pushing that direction. They're pushing right up the middle along the double rail. Oh, there's the 24th Army. Alright, well, that's fine. I don't mind that setup. So now, of these guys, the most important army is the 52nd Army. So we want to make sure they have enough artillery. I'd like to have a little bit more artillery with their... Our core artillery is getting pretty worn down, though. Howitzers galore, but not a lot of field artillery. Got one useful core artillery. The rest are kind of under strength. How is this guy as a general? He's not that good. I don't know. I know I need to replace a general in the south. I really want to replace that guy too, but it's tough. Tough to decide who goes to the gulag first. So in my Typhoon game, this group came right up the middle towards this like little peninsula area here, and was kind of like besieging Tula. So I wonder what will happen with them this time. The issue I had was that all of these cities were just hard as hell to defend. So they ended up getting right up to Tula pretty easily. And then I kind of had to make my big stand there. They were able to actually capture Kaluga. And so they crossed the Aka River. But they didn't make it too much further than that. So I was able to hold kind of in this. So they barely crossed over the river. I retreated back to here, to this line, this little rail line. I held that rail line. And then I held the other side of the Aka. So they were trying to attack across, like west to east. So I wonder if bringing in some forces into Tula now is the right play, because I don't want to be caught off guard when they start breaking through this, because these guys are not going to cut it. Yeah, they can't even really do much, because this is really good tank country here. Very tricky situation. I need to bring in some emergency divisions into this area. Like I was able to bring in one, but that was it. Let's rail them in, because this defense is actually kind of important. They're going to be really pushing. Give them to the 10th Army. The 10th Army led by Max Reiter, who has a 4 for initiative. So he is not good. He looks mean though. It's not good. This division has been absolutely wrecked. It's down to half strength. It's putting up a 1. Well, 2 on defense. And they can throw, well, if they stack everything on it, they could almost throw 40 across the river. And I got nothing to defend it. Yikes. I wonder what that would put them down to if I moved them down there. Because the thing is, I believe what I could do is rail this guy in. Although, did I already use this? Yeah, I already used the strategic points to unrail him. God damn it. I could rail one of these guys in, like this guy. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So we'll rail him into here. Get him off the train. And then we will take the 251st Rifle Division and march their little butts over here. That's a 4 now. A little bit better. We could move a tank division into there. That's a 6. This is just thrown up 0, so we don't really want that in there. In fact, we'll just march them back, put them on refit. I don't know if that's going to cut it. 6 against a possible 40, even with the bonuses from the terrain. I don't know if that's going to cut it. Yikes. But it might. It might be just enough. It might be just enough. It's funny that my corps commander is better than my army commander. They're all just such bad commanders overall. All right. It's a 12. Oof. They're going to get wrecked. If they get hit by 30, and the 61st Rifle Division is not the strongest right now. They're pretty fucked up. They really need to get out of there. They've been fighting for too long. That would be kind of a funny meme. It's in this tank division. Maybe I should use the cavalry division. It's like 2,000 guys. And it's unready. There we go. That's a funny meme. Retook Bryansk. Oh. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, that's so funny. Why weren't they defending it? That's hilarious. Oh my god. Holy shit, I could probably kill this thing right here. I'm very tempted to try to kill it. Or I could settle for the funny meme. Yeah, 41st Cavalry Division is cheeky little bastards. That's very funny. So now, what can I do in the city to screw them over? Everything's damaged. Okay, that's good. Bryansk airbase. Can I like torch the airbase? No. Sad. Oh well, that's still very funny. And I took 2 air bases by doing that too. So that's going to really slow them down, and it slows down the repairing of this rail line. Oh yeah, that's great. That's so funny. Actually, it would have been better for me to take this hex here if I could have. Can I? Can. But then I'd have to lose 2 divisions instead of 1. So tempted to surround this guy. Like, what could he do? I mean, I know that there must be more units here. He's still pretty strong. Otherwise, I'd just try to kill him. Let that be a lesson to you. Always garrison your cities. That's a loss of victory points for no damn reason. It's very funny. Alright, what am I going to do about this? Doesn't look like they're strong enough to actually push over the river. So I should be okay. Would like to get this guy here, though. What will he be when he gets there? Not very good, probably. So maybe it's better to rail this. Cannot cross the river because it's next to a enemy unit. Son of a bitch. I mean, this guy's got higher... less fatigue. The 37th Army is very full. I mean, one of these divisions should be able to hold the line here. Maybe what I do is I stack that's another option. I could cross the river with this tank division, knock them back because they're only 3. It's pretty risky though because they're bringing in a lot more stuff behind it. Don't really want to put myself in that position. So what I need to do is just move this guy up here. That's about as much as I can do. Give him to the 42nd Army, I guess. Well, this 43rd Army needs to pull back anyway. So I guess I might as well start doing that. This guy's only putting up a 1. We are having a bit of an emergency down here. This guy's pretty damn strong, though. Stinks to have to lose that. But we can rail him up here and give him to the 42nd Army. And he can be a reserve. Doesn't have enough strategic points this turn, but next turn he'll be ready. So let's get the rest of these guys out of here if we can. He's next to a unit. Is this worth railing? I think he is worth railing. We're going to give him to the 30... Guess we'll give them to the airborne. These guys will just march. Same with these guys. Alright, I gotta figure out what is underneath all this crap. Alright, so we have the 26th Army. What is under the 26th Army? Just 1? It's not even worth my time in that case. Got the 50th Army here. These are all such bad hexes for defense. The best we have is swamp. Alright, so what I'm thinking is relocating the 5th Army, which is all this stuff here, to this section of the line, or to back up the 40th Army that was absolutely annihilated last turn. Maybe that's the best play. Just move the 40th Army out of there, put the 5th Army in their place. So let's start doing that. God damn, they're already very freaking close to that rail line. But needs must as the devil drives. Sorry, Kiev. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Alright, so then this last little stack here we'll just reassign. Who's on a train? This guy from the 6th Army. I guess we might as well train him up. Unless I brought him down? I don't remember. Why would I bring him down? Makes no sense. Let's disband this thing. And we just got to give ground here, so fine doing that. Where's the 37th Army? What the 37th Army is way the hell up there. So I would have to rail him all the way north if I want to keep him with the 37th Army, which I think I actually do, because they need the troops. So I'll send them up there. Southern Front's just running away anyways. Who gives a crap? Okay. So these guys are relatively healthy, so they will form the backbone of this defense. And everyone else who has been kind of wrecked, I mean, I guess people are okay. It could be worse. Do I have just like a little shitty cavalry division or something that I could throw in there? This crappy tank division. It's just a bunch of T-38s and T-26s. Alright, fuck it, we'll use them. 45th Tank Division. I want to send them on like a bit of a disruption mission. / scouting. So they have part of a unit there. Didn't get any more recon. He's pretty far away from his commander though. But what that'll mean is they'll want to try to kill that thing, which is worthless to me. And in the meantime, hopefully that will allow more of my units to escape this pocket. Because what we need to do is to swing some relatively healthy divisions over to make up for this huge gap here. So something like this that gives us a 4. That ain't great. Could throw another one in there. It's a 7. Again, not particularly amazing. And they're not even all the same army. So let's give them all to the 12th Army. 12th Army is led by Bobkin, who is not bad. So we will keep him there. The rest of the 12th Army will retreat farther back. them on reserve. Them on reserve. And then put them on reserve. So at least the left flank of this is kind of strong. Let's, I guess, get these guys off the friggin' map, huh? Second Cav Corps will be holding that hex. That should kind of work. We'll have to spread out along this line. Not ideal. Oh, these guys are 5th Army. Let's reassign them to the 6th Army. Now the issue here is they can go really far if they break through this. And I'm pretty sure I can't bring anything else down. This is already on a train though. Nothing it can do, unfortunately. So you are fired officially, Podlas. He is responsible for the deaths of like 30,000 men. So if I had my way, he'd be going off to Siberia. But I guess we're not supposed to do that. We're the kinder, gentler Soviet Union. I need someone with morale. Maybe Zakharov. Yeah, I guess let's give him someone good. Someone famous. Because they need to get their shit together. We need to open a hole somewhere, but I'm not sure where. And we don't want them to just walk up and attack us. That's key. These are both unready. Unfortunately, that's bad news for us. Can't really bring anyone in because we don't have anyone. We don't have anyone remotely nearby. Like, this is the closest unit. And they can't get up to the front. I could do this. But still doesn't solve the problem of not having anyone on the other side of the river for this hex. So the 40th Army just cannot do the job. So somebody else is going to have to do the job for them. And this guy has 48, 56, 27. This will probably have the highest combat value when it gets there. Pretty fresh division. It's a long march. It's a damn long march. Yeah, 24 fatigue. That's a lot. I could bring him up here. Is there even a point though? Can't get him off the train. I guess there might be a point to doing it. Because we could put him on reserve. Even though there's no movement points, it might do something. Son of a bitch. This Cav Corps just needs to go direct to the front, I think. Oh, I wonder if these guys can make it. They could. Probably want to send this 151st Division over. But they can't make it because they rolled bad. So it'd have to be these. Well, I know that this stuff is not going to hold. This has no combat prep. don't want that in combat. Love of God, I don't want that in combat. None of these good divisions are good at defense. Alright, well, at least we're pulling up a 5-5-4. So they're going to have to expend some resources to get through us. It's not ideal, but it's kind of what we're left with at this point. Don't really have any other ideas. 38th Army. Where's that? All the way down there, that's right. We're going to give both these guys the 40th Army now. Same with this. And we'll just pray that that becomes ready next turn. So we need rifle divisions back in the game. 74th Rifle Division's a little higher, so let's actually move them. It's sketchy. These guys could get surrounded, but I like having them there. I guess that's okay. Could be worse. These guys are just trying to go around us. I'd love to get some intel on them, but I don't have any cavalry divisions that I can use. If this guy down here, I could send him up. I know, I mean, I have a lot of cavalry divisions further south, but nothing that I can use up here. I just want to scout behind this to see how many divisions there are. Because if you see one division here, that probably means there's at least 2 more if it's a corps. 5 equals X. What the hell does that mean? No, they're probably going to try to surround that city. If they're going to do it, I want to make them fight for it. Alright, so this is kind of stabilized now, but where does this guy go? The 18th Army? Wow, he's just in range, isn't he? What I want is to make sure that he can't get surrounded for free. So something like that. I'll just reassign this guy over to the, I guess, direct to the 38th Army. He's not a great commander. About him. Smirnov. Well, he's about as good a commander as the vodka is a good vodka. Put it that way. Oh boy. Then we got this situation going on here to finish out the turn. What the hell do we do with this? Don't rightly know. Can't exactly fight back there now, can we? We just kind of have to retreat into Crimea and or this second line here. So I guess that's what we'll do. And the remnants of the 9th Army, those are the defenders of Odessa, the valiant defenders of Odessa, I should say. They are the only guardsmen we have on the map, so we don't want to lose them necessarily. Lose them as soon as we get them. So let's get them out of there. Let's get rid of this depot. Disband. And now this, whatever army this is here, the coastal army, has to move back. Who do we want to put up against these panzer divisions? Oh my god, they're putting up no defense. What the hell? Well, we'll just rail some of these guys out of there. I said I wanted a cavalry division earlier, and I definitely do. I want to rail a cavalry division up to here. Maybe up to Pavlograd. Yeah, let's go up to Pavlograd. I think makes sense. Yeah, we'll go here. We'll give him over to the 30th Army. And he will be our cavalry scout. God, these deployments are so funky now. Oh, because there's only one unit. There's only one unit there. It's here. This is the Southern Air Command. They don't need to be here. Oh my god, 75. Oh well. You guys can march. What I don't want to happen is to leave a bunch of guys in range of getting hit by this and have them just immediately get wiped out. But at the same time, I do have to buy time to build a front over here, a front line. So I can't just completely abandon it. So to me, what that generally means is I have to throw away some cavalry divisions. This is in the 9th Army, so the 9th Army is going to get relocated over to this port. As soon as possible. I would have put them over there last time, but I could not reach. There's no room in the port, right? Yeah. What I want is the 9th Army to probably evacuate. I'm going to need them for Crimea, I think. This is very well dug in here, but this is not even fortified yet. So I need to fortify this. This. That's water, water, water. Who's this fool? Has he been here the whole time? Jesus, no wonder the Southern Front's a mess. They're led by an idiot. Yakov Smirnov here. The whole front. Fortunately, I have 1 AP left, so I can't do anything about it this turn. But I think we did as good as you can hope for. So next time we'll turn the turn and see what happens. I'm hopeful that some of this stuff will work, but at the same time, we did the best we could, but it's sketchy. It's really sketchy. I didn't even look at this area all that much because I didn't want to look. We're going to have some people die up here. No way around that. But hey, at least we didn't have a big pocket yet. So we bought ourselves a little bit of time. We have to hold out to the end of October, and then the mud will really just pull the brakes on the advance of the Germans. So that will be kind of the end of the first year of the campaign. Once these rain, see all these little raindrops here, that's going to turn into mud pretty damn quick. And so we are looking forward to more and more rain. You see these low pressure fronts coming in? Yeah, that's going to save our bacon, hopefully. And mud season will turn the Ukraine into a much slower advance. So the idea is if we can at least hold them on the east side of Kharkov, don't let them all the way through to Kharkov in 41, then we should be fine. I wouldn't be terribly worried. In the south, they're going to pretty much get Crimea cut off, but that's okay. Crimea is very defensible. We only have to defend 1, 2, 3 hexes. They can all be fortified, and they can all be very well defended. So I'm not super worried about that. And we have an army here to defend the other side of things. The issue is that once this gets cut off, we can't send units from Crimea north to the rest of this big open expanse of the Donetsk. So that's going to be an issue. In reality, what's going to happen is we're going to have to bring in another army or 3, probably 3, whenever we can get them down into the Donetsk region, and just try to hold it out there, stall them out. And then in the north, we should be able to take one of these reserve armies and start punching when the snow starts flying. I would also really like to have a bit of an offensive during the snowy season with the 28th Army, because by then they should have a fair number of guards rifles. They have a bunch of guys that are getting pretty close. Of course, none of the ones I click on right off the bat, but the 229th Rifle Division, this guy's got 5 losses, but there's a few rifle divisions around that are getting close. So I'm hoping that this area here can be a source of strength for us in the winter. But with that, I will see you in the next one.